Can you see the chat? Great. Ah, ja. Hvor er I dejligt. Very good. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome, dear friends. Before we start, I can just tell you that I'm wearing my mother-in-law's dress tonight. We went to start to clean up her flat, and I thought to honor her, I'm wearing it. This one, it's kind of very nice, I think, this dress. So, and I put off all speakers in order not to have any echo tonight. We hope that everything will be fine. If everything will not be fine, please let me know and you type it as a message on the chat, because I can't hear you. See what time it is. Now we start. Good evening. Tonight we're going to make a detox of the brain, at least part of the brain, the central nerve system. And it's very challenging for me because I had to study the brain all week, and I've also been studying it before, but I got deeper into it. And of course, I'm not a professor in brain science, I must admit that, but I'm trying to make like the most practical knowledge available so that we can repair ourselves and at least make some experiments with our brain. There are one thing that is really important to remember now when you work with the brain is that everything in the brain is double. Except from the pineal gland, that's one cone and a spiral form. That's the only exception. Otherwise, everything is double. Two hemispheres. When we talk about the hypothalamus, it's always a two-part, one in each part of the brain. So when we work on the brain, we should work on both sides, because otherwise we can have an unbalance. I tell you, it's really, really deep meditation you can get from it. I'm really fond of it myself. But I did once this mistake that I just did it in one side. I mean, I didn't think about that there were two sides. You can forget that. And then I felt a little bit, not bad, but I felt unbalanced after. So I will guide you into it, but just remember, if you're going to play with this after, always there are two parts. I've written some things here on a big cartoon board that I will read for you to be sure that I say the right things, because I can't remember everything by heart. But tonight we're going to do 3 meditations, and we're going to mainly meditate. And if there's extra time after, you will have the possibility to share or to put questions, and I will answer as good as I can. Before we start, I will also tell you that I have a course in Samsø. I think you all heard about it now, also in my newsletters, because it's been a very strange course, because it's been in and out with students all the time, probably because of the corona. But now it seems like there are enough that we will make it, and it's going to be a small group, so it's getting a kind of exclusive group. We are going to be about 14 people, and I think there are 10 now there, participators, and it can be sick people too. We are going to strengthen the immune system, and we're going to also have healings daily. and sing daily, and you will also learn how to do self-healing so that you can continue the treatment at home. And that's from the 27th of September until the 2nd of October. And it's in Samsø in the middle of Denmark in an island. And it's going to be in English. So you can join if you have any plans coming here. Yeah, I will just tell you now. Dr. Rüke Gerd Hammann from Germany. He died, I think it was 2017, and he had to flee from Germany, actually, in a way, because he was threatened after he found a way to treat cancer that worked very well. At least that's what some people say, and of course the ones that didn't like him to stay in Germany say that he was just fake. We can choose what we want to think about him, but Dr. Hammann's son, Dr. Hammann was working in Rome, and he was doing, he was helping kids in the slum quarters, and he did it for free. Him and his wife was there, and his son, young son. And then it's happening by accident that his son is shot. And he's shot down by some kind of prince by mistake. And they get a shock. We'll not go into deeper into that story. Of course, the parents are shocked because they love the son dearly. And he dies in his father's arms from the injuries. And then, shortly after, Dr. Hammer got a cancer in his testicles, and his wife also got cancer, and she actually died from it. But Dr. Hammer understood that it was due to the trauma that they got the cancer, and he found out that you can look all the traumas that is related to cancer, you can look them up in the brain. And you can actually, by looking at the map in the brain, find out how to treat the cancer. I don't know more in detail what he found out because it's really covered up, I think. But I find that very interesting, and I also find it interesting that we're going now to work with the brain. There are 3 trips we're going to do, or 3 meditations, and I will explain you now about it, because when you start to meditate, you will get into a deep, quiet place. I hope so. And then I will not start to explain you all kind of things for the left brain part. So we take it now. And don't worry if you don't remember it, because when I edit this webinar, I will put some of the knowledge that I'm talking about also in written inside the film. So I was trying to paint a brain and the central nerve system here, but I must admit that it's looking a little bit more like an alien, this thing. But I hope you can follow me anyway. It's a little bit too big, the central nerve system, but it's symbolic. So the first strip we're going to do is to do up through the spine, which is not drawn here, but all the way up, joint by joint, and up in to the brainstem. And in the brainstem, all the 12 main nerves are coming up through there, like it would be a central electric installation. All the electric lines are inside here, and they're going also down to the spine, but they're going through this kind of filters, you can say it. And here's the medulla oblongata, the pons, which is in the middle. That's also called the bridge. And then there is what's called the midbrain here. There is something very interesting in the midbrain. Can you see this black spot here? It's also drawn down here. This is a cross-cut of the spine. And this is the black spot you can see there. The black lines here, I was really surprised to know about this. This is a place where the main factory, can you say, of dopamine. And dopamine is the rewarding hormone that we get, to motivate us to go on. And that's also why you are doped when you get extra dopamine. That's because it's really good for the movement, getting action, feel good. And it's the central thing if you get Parkinson's illness, then these black lines, you can see them in the internet if you're looking it up, that they are like getting almost invisible. And that means that the dopamine level is falling, and in the end, it's hardly there. And that's what makes your muscles, you cannot, you're getting out of control of your muscles when you don't get dopamine. We are really depending on dopamine. So this, you could see if you could get in contact with that. I mean, I succeeded in one of my meditations, and I got so speedy. I guess it was dopamine, but I was happy, but full of energy after. So also there is a possibility. Then here is the reticular formation or formatia, and this is a long line going along all these three here, and that is the one that is responsible in collecting all the signals, like all in all, and it's responsible for autoimmune reactions like I can just read what I wrote to be sure I do this. Control of consciousness, it's a very big thing. Some part of it probably. Skeletal muscle, autonomic nerve system, pain perception, endocrine nerve system, and that's the hypothalamus and the pineal gland. Biological clock regulates respiration, heart rate, and blood pressure. So that's quite much. And why it interests me, this one, is because the ones that have electric hypersensitivity syndrome, EHS, they have often problems with the heart beating. They have problems, also they feel like vomiting. Some of that's from the medulla oblongata. That's autonomic reactions like vomiting, coughing, sneezing, and so that's around here. So all this could have something to do with the electrical installation of the body, if you can tell me. It's like the central place. So it could be that the radiation will cause an unbalance here. So if we would know how to balance it again, at least we can survive the 5G that they're now putting up everywhere. Or maybe you don't feel anything from it. I'm very happy for that if you don't. But there are some people that gets really sick from it. That was that's the first meditation we're going to do. And that was the substantia nigra, this one was called, the black substance, you can say, it's up here. So, and you can also see this one is the pineal gland. It's not so precisely written, painted, but it's just above this crosscut of the midbrain. Then we have the second meditation we're going to do is we will go and get in contact with the olfactory bulb. It takes a little bit of time to learn. Olfactory bulb. This is like a small bulb with a lot of nerve threads, and these nerve threads are sensing smell inside the top of the nasal cavity. So when we enter the nose with air, we will then enter through the olfactory bulb and the olfactory pipe, or what you will call it, channel, and we'll go in, and the second trip will be we can go into, there's some nerve threads here, into the hippocampus, and going on into the amygdala. So it's like this, and it's a shape of like a sheep horn or something like this, because it's going like this. You see, we go through the nose and then round, but it's going also in a little bit when you come to the amygdala. It's like I send that for you, the image at the newsletter. So there we have the amygdala, and that's like the red light of the brain, because that's a fear and threat detector. And that means it's all the time analyzing. Is a danger, and it's you could call it the flight, freeze, fight detector, which might get stuck here if we have this, that we are stuck in the red light and we have a constantly stress signal. It could be from the amygdala, and you get in, it's sitting deep inside, but you go through the temples here and then it's in there. So that's really a central place if you have a stress situation also. So if you we go backwards, because we're going to breathe into here, and then on the way back we will stimulate it with sound. And in here we will try to stimulate with the hung sound, because it's the most precise one for the central nervous system. The one from here, we will do the hung, because the hung is if you say it, hung is up, it's placed up, but the hung undertones are more, if you can feel hung is more going like this. In here, it's placed inside here, and it will go straight into the neck. So that's why we'll use the hung there. If you feel like experimenting, finding other sounds or using other vowels, be welcome. We like to hear your good results if you have some new ideas. Anyway, so this is, we're going here, then we're going back with the sound. We will be here, but not too long, just a little bit, stimulating it, and then here in the part of the hippocampus. And I just read what I wrote here about the hippocampus. Hippocampus is emotion and memory, navigation, flexible goal-directed behavior, cognition, social behavior, shrinks during depression. That's kind of interesting. It shrinks during depression, but the neurons can be regenerated. So we could say this is the really detector, and then this one is reaction. How will we be human, and how will we deal with this, with the message coming from the amygdala? There are scientists that say that it also can deal with positive inputs, the amygdala, but they didn't come so far yet in the evaluation or the scientific result about this. You see, they don't know that much about the brain yet. Some, but not too much. So, but we will just stimulate it, and we will see how we can heal ourselves. So we're going through this, and then the way back here, and breathe in, and then rap. But you can also, if you want to do it, you can also do slowly, step by step, but just breathe in and go straight to that place, and then take it slowly. That was the second meditation. And the third meditation we're going to do is, again, through the olfactory bulb or the olfactory channel. But in this way, we'll do the big turn. We're not going into that. We're going up to the big yellow one here. And that's a gyrus, the cingulate gyrus. And we can go back here. It's just a bigger wave. So, and that's, now it's getting really interesting, because it's getting more and more refined what the brain is doing. So I'll just read, where is it? Yeah, the cingulate gyrus regulates emotion, memory, pain, conscious response to unpleasant experience. So the consciousness is growing now. Related illnesses to problems in this area is autism, bipolar disorder, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress, schizophrenia, learning impairment, inappropriate emotions. I don't know what is inappropriate emotions, but probably if you get strange emotions when you're not supposed to have it. I don't know. But I got really quiet when I got up there. So I hope you're ready now for, I talked anyway a lot. I will also tell you before that we start all this meditation and get very quiet that one of the plants, now I didn't look up a lot of plants because there are really many things that can be good for the brain, but this is the ginkgo biloba, and we have a tree in our garden, and right now it's time for harvesting them if you want to make dry them for tea for the winter. And it's very mild tea, and it's also called the temple tree, and it's one of the eldest tree in the world. It was surviving the Hiroshima, the atom bomb, probably because it can also live from radiation, and it's very good to detox itself. So that's why it survived millions of years. So it's one of the eldest tree we know, and it's very good for the brain. It's creating blood flow. And the reason why it's called the temple tree is because the monks used to, they're standing outside the temples, for example, in India, and they take a leaf and chew it, and then they don't have to go to the bathroom for a couple of hours. They can keep it easier. That was why they do it. So there are many good things about this. Another one that is one of the new ones that is getting very known quite fast is the, let's just see if I can take it up here, the lion's mane. The lion's mane is a mushroom, and it's fantastic what it can do. It reduces inflammation and oxidation, autoimmune diseases, improves digestive health, alters leaky gut, supports a healthy heart and improves circulation, heals the nerve system, stimulate nerves growth factor, protect against cancer, diabetes and neuropathy, enhances the intestinal immune system, anxiety, stress, depression, and mental health issues. It's so many things. Energy, increases energy, relieves fatigue, and enhances athletic performance. Strokes, concussions, and brain injuries also it can take care of. A very, very good plant, it seems like. And I'm reading about it in this book, The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. It's a very good book. Yeah. Now we're going to meditate. So you sit well and breathe deeply into your stomach. If you have anything tight around your stomach, a belt or a trousers, please open them that you can breathe nicely into your stomach. And when you breathe in, the stomach should expand. And when you exhale, you press the stomach inward. That's why it's very good to put your hands on the stomach, on the belly. And if you don't know how to do this, you can watch some of my other videos because I explain that truly in other videos. So the first meditation, we will take contact to the coccyx, that's down at the tailbone, and breathe into that so that you'll feel the grounding going all the way through your legs, through your feet into the ground. Every time you exhale down into the ground. And you press the stomach inside on each exhalation, so it's an active exhalation. Now we're going to make the sound hang. But before that, we're going to say ah. So it's the open sound of this ah. It helps always to do it open first and then add the ng after. The NG is what is focusing the sound and makes it an inner undertone. If you just make it open, it's going out and you can heal other people with it. But if you want to heal yourself, it has to add the NG. So close the upper nasal cavity with the NG and purr like a cat. And we do the hung because it will go into the brainstem and stimulate it. And that's where we're going now. So from the coccyx, you will add now the hung and get in contact with the tailbone here. And now slowly, joint by joint, you move upwards and you breathe during this process, and more singing and breathe until we reach up to the brainstem. You might meet some kind of strange sounds on your way that is not exactly doing what you want the voice. Then just let it be, because that just show you that there is something you have to take care of there. So if you do the meditation yourself, give it extra time in that area until the sound becomes smooth again. Now we are coming closer up to the neck. And next times you breathe and exhale, you're going into the medulla oblongata, and you do it very slowly here, that we will have a contact with this area. Eventually, if you want to make it a balanced contact with these areas, we can do it with hung, hung, and close the mouth with an M. I'll do that, and you can experiment if you want to make it open or closed. What feels the best for you? You'll probably feel that it's getting wider, the expression, when you put the M. And if you put the hung, it's more precise. So I'll try with the hung now. And I will do the hung M to close the medulla oblongata. Balance it. And this could be good if you really feel like vomiting, or you're feeling bad and have some problems with the heart beats or something, it's very good to be in this area. So now we go on to the pons, which is the mid part of the brainstem, the bridge, a little bit higher up. And you can do as I do with shifting between the hung and the hung as you please, because it's good to stimulate, but it's also good to balance because it's such a critical area of nerve system we're going into here. Then we are moving up to the midbrain, which is connecting also to the pituitary in the top, is very close to that. And that's where the nigra, substantia nigra is. That's where we are creating the dopamine. So that's a little bit up. So you're just going into it. Now we are inside the brain now. And we have left the spine. We're almost coming to the center of the brain, a little bit under the center. You see, this is one thing, but there are two substantia nigras, so we have to balance it, that we are stimulating both of them. And we don't need to get high on this. We can ask not to get high from this. We just want to balance the dopamine secretion of the body. So we better stop doing this, and we're going on all the way up to the pineal gland, which is sitting like in the middle. I've also been drawing it here, but you don't have to open your eyes if you're meditating, but you can see it later if you don't follow me. We're going up to the pineal now, and we will shift to the hung, because the hung is more pointed. And we're also going now into the middle of the brain, so hung. And the pineal gland has crystals inside it, and it's shaped like a cone, and it's spiraling shape. And that's the gland of the cone that is responsible for the melatonin excretion and also the sulfate. And these two very important chemicals or hormones are in charge of the body's natural detox system. That's why I've been writing about it in my book, Heal the Pineal. Because if we can start and support the body's own detox system, natural detox system, then we're really strong. We're standing strong. And the pineal is often calcified with fluoride and aluminum and chlorine and things like this, especially if you have a lot of fluoride in your water. I know you have it in Ireland, for example, and if you're using the toothpaste with the fluoride inside. We'll just shiver it a little bit to purify it. And if you're new and you didn't follow the other webinars, it's placed in the neck of a central bird head inside the brain. It looks like a bird head where the beak is pointing forward, but the pineal gland is in the neck of this bird head, and it's exactly in the center of the brain. Now we'll take it, the meditation, we'll do it backwards, and we'll just hum all the way down from the central nervous system through the brainstem, the neck, down through the spine to the tailbone, just to balance everything. And that's a hung im, hung. If you cannot make this sound, you can just make an M balance. Think about it, balancing it. All the way down into the tailbone and what could have been your tail. Now we're going to do the second meditation, and that's the one that we are breathing into the nose, into the olfactory bulb, and into the channel of olfactory bulb, into the hippocampus, and into the amygdala, like a small wave inside the brain. Like we will do first the right side, and then the left side, and then both. First, we will breathe into it just to see how it feels, if we can come to contact with it. So we breathe in through the nose. Feel how the air will follow the tract or the channel of the olfactory bulb, going inside, up and around like two horns of a sheep, and moving like round and a little bit inside again and into two bulbs. That's the red light of the body, or the green light. That's the amygdala. That's two centers like. So breathe into that and backwards a few times. Very nice and mild. So now next time you reach the amygdala, we will hung for it. And we're going into the right side now. Breathe in through the right olfactory tract, through the nose, both nose, just through the nose. And if you didn't reach it the first time, you to take one more breath. And when you get the amygdala, you keep the breath a little bit and then exhale on. And while humming, you return all the way back from the amygdala along the hippocampus and around back into the tract of the olfactory bulb and exhale through the nose. And then you breathe in again and you repeat. So we're in the right side now. One more time. And if you cannot make it in one breath, you do it in 2 or 3. Just finish, and I will instruct while you finish. We're going now to the left side, and we will breathe into it a few times. Same procedure. Keep a break at the amygdala and breathe out. Exhale from the amygdala back along the hippocampus. It's almost shaped like an ear and widening out when you turn and coming back to the olfactory tract or channel. It might be that it was easier for you to contact one side than the other. This is fine. Just practice to get in contact with the side that was weakest then. Now we'll put the hung sound on it when you're ready. Breathe all the way in, follow the hippocampus and enter the amygdala. Keep a small break, have the contact with the amygdala and hung it. One more time. Breathe in through the olfactory bulb inside the nose. All the way around into the amygdala. Keep a little bit break and then sing. And follow the amygdala and the hippocampus back to the olfactory tract. Out of the nose. One more time, and then we'll do both. Next time you can also take a break, just breathe a few times, and then we'll breathe into both parts, the mirror of the amygdala and the mirror of the hippocampus. We're going into both, into the nose, breathe in into the olfactory tract, and go all the way around into the amygdala. Keep a small break, and then we'll say hong em. And we will spread a fine net between the two so that they're balanced, the two parts of the hippocampus and the two amygdalas. So we're just going to breathe in all the way into the amygdala and all the way back against the clock. We're going to sing Hong Em. And you do it in your own time. Hong. And again. All the way around like an ear shape. Into the amygdalas, the red lights or the green light. Make them green, the lights. And so now I can see the time is running, so we better do the last meditation, and that's the big thing, the same story, but we're going up around in this cingulate gyrus, which has so many functions, and so many illnesses have also their placement up here in this area. So we go with that, breathe in, and we're just doing both of them at once. Should we do that? Maybe try that? That you make, it's the big sheep, big horns. So it's getting more up and then coming into the amygdala. And if you don't come all the way around on your one breath, just make it 2 or 3 to get all the gyrus stimulated. And I use the Hong M in order to balance the two parts. You can also take one at a time of the two gyruses and then do the Hong M in the end, but we do this because we are running short of time. You might feel that one is more dominant than the other, one side again. Then you can work on your personal level with stimulating the side that is the weakest to balance them. And we are moving back from the amygdala all the way around and back to the olfactory tract and into the olfactory bulb and out of the nose. And now we will just, for the grounding, breathe into the midbrain and the brainstem again on the hang-im, and just we will sing ourselves down again through the spine, down to the tail and down into the earth on hang or hang-im. And slowly, slowly you are coming closer to the tailbone. And when you reach the tailbone, you might have felt that, sensed that it was different to sing on the spine now than before. You're more quiet now inside. Now continue down into the earth, down into the legs. Thighs, knees, legs, ankles, feet, big toes, and feel the ground under your feet. If you did not sit with the feet in the ground, please do it. Feel the roots going down into the earth. And now slowly, slowly come back. This meditation is very good also to do, or these 3 meditations can be very good to do when you lay down and put the feet in the mattress so that you can feel your spine all the way. It's very good before you sleep. It's also good in daytime. I was sitting down at the beach doing it and on a bench this morning with a nice sun. Wonderful. So if you have anything to share, please share it. And if you have any questions, let me know. And while I wait for this that you're writing, I will just tell you that this was the last webinar of my planned detox webinars, and it will be a little bit while before I come back because I have some courses now and also some other things to do. But when I come with more material, I will let you know in my newsletter. And the newsletter you can register if you're not registered yet. It's in www.thenotefromheaven.com. There you can register. Or in Githa Ben-David.dk, that's the Danish page. If you want to see the other webinars or follow the webinars, you can do it in www.cosmoporter.com. And if you feel like donating anything for these free webinars, you can do it in www.gilalai.com, Gilai.com. And thank you very much for joining me. I'll just see what's going on here. No questions. Thank you. Thank you. And the sound is loud and clear tonight. Great. Oh, the dress suits me very much. I think my mother-in-law would be happy for that. I think she didn't use it for many years. You have anything else to ask here? I mean, if you ask in Facebook, I can't see it, just that you know. I think there are many people following in Facebook also. So you felt something from this? Anybody felt something special? I can't see which one is the news. The new ones. Okay. No questions? So if you get some experience from this, for example, I know that's one woman from Ireland, I know Margaret from Ireland, that she has some Parkinson's that she's been fighting with for years. So if she could, for example, improve her level of dopamine, if other people with Parkinson's would experiment with this, because you can use your own illness to heal yourself, you know, and it will expand your consciousness also to do it. It's always a challenge, but you can do it. You know, we can handle it, and it's possible to get healed from anything. The body is magical. So don't stop believing in that. You can manage it. You just have to find the right place to work and to get the thorn out of the flesh. So if you want to try to stimulate it, it's here in the substantia nigra. And there are lots of, if you're suffering from depression, it's in here or in there. Autism, I can just remember, what was it? Autism, bipolar disorder in here. Also depression here, but also there. You see, it's like, it's more refined out here, and it's more, you know, the closer we get to the amygdala, the more more simple it gets, like wrong, and the fear and the threat here, and then how to react is now treated out here, processed out here, and so it's I really find it fascinating. So if you have any illnesses, try to heal yourself, and I'm also going to work with it in Samsø, where I'm going to have a course, because I really like to see what it can do to illnesses. Also, when you heal other people, if there are any healers here watching from my education, you can also imagine these parts. If you work with yourself, then you get better and better to imagine and get in contact with this part in yourself, and then you will also be able to imagine it when you give healing to another person. But of course, you should tell them what you're doing. And always remember that there are two parts inside the brain. So no more questions, I will just see. Okay. I also feel more balanced in my brain and more in touch with the tension, sleepiness in my left brain. Lots of yawning, yes. And your headache is gone. Fantastic. And you felt a relax, and you felt a strong heat. A lot of heat in the medulla, Ellen. And Gabriella found some buzzing sensations. Very good. Thank you very much for your response. And I thank you for tonight. And I will just repeat the things that can support you if you want to have more action in your brain and want, for example, not dementia. Also, that's also the hippocampus is also dementia. So you can keep your brain fresh actually by exercising and doing this quite pleasant meditation. That's at least what I believe you can do, because if you can do it to any other part of your body, why shouldn't you be able to do it to the brain also? So here is the ginkgo biloba, and if you live close by, I mean, I can give you some leaves, but ginkgo biloba trees, they are getting more and more normal. So you can find them, but you can also buy it as tablets in the health store, and that's quite well. People with aging problems and starting not to be able to remember, they take it and it helps them. Thank you very much for joining, and it's such a great pleasure to do this. The only thing that's not pleasurable about making these webinars is all the technical problems, but tonight we were finished 1 hour before we had so much echo, and we found out we have to close the speaker of the computer, so we did that, and that helped. So I'm so grateful that nothing happened wrong tonight. Sleep well, and bye. How to get the right sound? Sorry, I will just tell you. The right sound, it is to work on the ah, and if you can't say ah, it could be because you have to sing ah, ha for a long time, because that will balance your voice, and that will you'll come in contact with your main power by singing ha and singing real notes. But the undertones, what we did tonight, is going inside. So we're trying to heal ourselves inside, and the up here will center the voice, and the friction between the energy will stimulate the body wherever you go. So it's a stimulating effect, and the M is balancing. And you can also experiment with hing. It's more wide, hing, and hong, hing, hong. Stimulate. You can experiment with it and see what makes you feel the best. And I'd like to hear your response. And I see if there's more. Good night and sleep well, and detox your brain all the night.